Hello and good evening. It is 5 after 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursday, August 25th, 2022. This morning I made a 6-minute video about 4 different situations that might play out today. And right now I'm going to go back over what happened and what didn't happen. I think we'll start with what did not happen first. Let's take a look at the daily chart. We opened a tick above yesterday's high. It was a little unclear whether we're going to have a small gap up or we're going to open in range, maybe even in value, because the market started to push down right as I was making the video. Anyway, we opened with a 1-tick gap. I don't think I've ever seen one that small before. 1 tick, and we traded into yesterday's range. But one of the things that was possible that I was looking at happening was that we got a balancing day similar to the prior 2 days, and that didn't happen. The other one was that we not only got moved into yesterday's range, but we got some momentum to the downside, and we either had a bar that looked similar to this, continuing this move to the other side of this trading range, down to the 38.2, down to the 4100 psychological level, and down to the bottom of this trading range. And I'm not sure where it is, but there, I thought, oh, maybe it's on a extended session chart. I thought there was a moving average down here. At any rate, so that did not happen. And that was situation number 4, which I typed in afterwards, okay, because I thought there was one that I was leaving out, and I mentioned it. I talked about it. So that was to take out yesterday's low with continuation. And that implied also falling back into yesterday's range, but trading down there, because I already had one that had to do with falling into the daily trading range, but it was talking about more balance and getting maybe to the other side of the range, but not having continuation below the low. So I want to talk about right here what did not happen. Let me move this because I want to put little. Okay, so this did not happen. Okay, and the conditions were that the market internals would be very negative if selling. We'd have a high confidence open. We'd build value in yesterday's range with neutral to overlapping to lower value. Looking for one-time framing lower would be a clue that we might be continuing to the downside. So these were some of the context in the immediate session that we would look for to consider that this is taking place. But it didn't happen, okay? The next thing that I want to talk about, let's see here, was fail into the daily trading range and look for a move to balance in the prior day's range. So this sort of happened because we did enter yesterday's range, but it wasn't what the long-term play of this was. However, this was an opportunity. Someone could have gotten short on a move into that range. I was talking more about just how it might play out over time. I really felt, I don't know, I just experience, and my feeling was that we were going to get a move, either closing the gap and you know, rejection off the highs, or we came in a little bit, maybe even to the value area high or something like that, maybe even a little lower down to the pivot point, and then came out of there, and not really failing, you know, just test. I hate that word test, but like trying, you know, attempting to the downside, see if the sellers get the bears are in control and take it down, okay, and then balance, but not with the kind of momentum that would see us continuing past yesterday's range, yesterday's low and all that. So this sort of happened, but not really. So we're going to give this an X, okay? So what did happen? Well, this happened. We had a small gap up by 1 tick, and the idea was to look to buy in the prior day's high area. Okay, that's important, area. And looking for continuation to the upside. We wanted positive market internals, which there were. They were slightly positive. A failure to build volume inside a prior day's range. Now it did start to build volume, but it wasn't the kind of lasting or you know, the amount of time and volume that we're talking about. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. So it was a little bit. I was wondering if this was going to happen, that we were going to be building volume in yesterday's trading range and staying in there, but also the way the price action was, and it just really felt like it was just a stab down, and you know, we immediately, we had quite a bit of room for value to be overlapping to higher, and I'll show you that in just a second. So, or a failure to enter prior day's range. Well, we did enter right away. We entered right in the range. Failure to build volume, overlapping to higher value. Okay, so let's take a look at that, and I'll pull this in a second. So I'm going to show you on a minute chart. Well, let's look at the profile first. Okay. So I'd split off the profile early on. Now I know it's small, but let me make it a little bigger. Okay, we open this red line right here. PHOD stands for previous high of day. Prior high of day. Okay, I can close this. Now the value area high is this white line right here. Okay, so this is the area of the high. All right, above value. Here's the high tick, and looking to buy in here if we felt like it was going to reject out. Now let me split off the B period. Let's just look at A period here. Okay, you can see that before we came up here, I'll show you on a minute chart. It's very important. This little white line represents A period. We ticked up just a couple ticks and came straight in. And then in 3 or 4 minutes, we were down to the value area. Okay, seemed to have a little bit of momentum, but you usually get that off the open. So we came through the value area. I will say, I'll talk a little bit about my trading. I tried it, and I don't remember that I took it on just the first slam down. Maybe I did, but I was stopped out. So I didn't give it quite a bit of room. I really didn't give it a lot of room. I gave it just a little over 2 points. And I got stopped out. But I liked it. You know, we didn't get to the close, and we got a real rejection here. Another thing we had was what I call attenuation. Let's see if we can still see that there. Yep, it held. An attenuation, you look right here, look how thin the volume is coming down right once we get past the overnight volume point of control. I think what I was looking at, okay, so I got long here, and I was looking at my stop being like right here, something like that. Or maybe right under here. Whatever it was, I got stopped out. But I liked it. So it came through here, and it tapered off, attenuated. So you go from 2,600 down to 2,000 to halve it to 1,000, 1,000, 1,300, 1,000, 1,000. Then like a third, 394, then 192 and 12, you know. Now, why didn't I buy down here? This happened so fast, you know. I mean, I guess somebody could, but it also could just come up here and then fill it in again as it comes through. So that wasn't the idea. The plan was to buy somewhere in here, and one place to buy would be the value area high. So I tried it immediately, and it failed. My trade failed. But when it came back through, I still wanted it. So when it came back through and I saw how this looked, I wanted it. I bought it. Okay? And this was the plan, right? So let's look at this. We had a small gap up by 1 tick. Hardly a gap, really. 1 tick. I don't need to have that there. Buying the prior day's high area, looking for continuation to the upside. Positive market internals, check. Failure to build volume inside the prior day's range, check. And it really failed. Where that was really starting to stand out to me, and this happened really fast, and I guess I thought about it on a more intuitive level. This is the value area. That's when the volume started shrinking. It came down here and just didn't. It should have been building volume, really. And when it came back up, I thought, well, it may continue to the downside later, but I thought I'd get a move out of this, and I did. So I took this out. Now, I got a pretty good leg of it, but look how much there was. Okay, so let me split this right here. And again, I'm doing these videos to help me have confidence in my own plans, because I plan my trades, and then a lot of times I don't trade my plan, and I kind of lose sight of it. I get short-sighted, and hang on a second, let me split this. I get very short-sighted, and I don't start thinking about how it could play out over the next hour or longer. Okay, And look what happened. Again, I bought at 51. Where is it? 51 down here. Okay, now I'm going to show you on the minute chart because I drew this in. Now I don't trade off a minute chart. Maybe I should start looking at this. It actually looks really good in retrospect. And these little white lines divide the periods. I labeled them here. A period, so got in over here. Okay. I can grab that little white dot. I'm going to lose this line. Okay, this video is probably going to be 20 minutes long. Sorry. Got in here. Okay. And I did not take all this. Okay, this represents all of A period. There's a little bit of retracement, and this is B period. Now, let's say you got out in B period. Okay, let's just say you got out here at this R2, right under the R2. Let's say, just a minute. If you risked less than 4 points, you stood to make almost 27 points. That's a nice return. That's a great risk reward. That was the trade. So let's just write in here, how much was this little idea worth? At least 27 points. I think I'm going to start keeping these and look at them over the weekend because this will really help me to look longer term and have confidence in these little ideas. Now, they don't always play out picture perfect, you know? So the next thing that happened, okay, what didn't happen, we didn't fall in the trading range, stay there in balance, and maybe have another little bit lower high and a little bit lower low. And we didn't have momentum to the downside and take out with continuation. And I'm starting to see a pattern here. Usually about 2 out of my 3 or 4 stories seem to play out to some degree. So then the next thing would be, did we get a continuation of yesterday's move up? Well, not right away. Let's look at this. So the idea was to continue the overnight move to close the gap from the days back. I don't know what I meant by that. From days back. Oh, from days back. Yeah, several days ago when we gapped down. That's what I'm talking about. Continue the overnight move because the overnight actually took out yesterday's high. Okay, so we wanted to have positive market internals, which we did, and they grew steadily over the course of the day. And either a high confidence open to the upside. We did not get that. Okay, so it wasn't like it opened and shot up. And a lot of times these things just take time to play out. They maybe happen later on the day. Or develop overlapping to higher value early on and look for overnight short covering action. Okay, these two things did happen. Let me back up and show you what I mean by overlapping to value area, or value, not value area, value higher. So immediately we're looking at, let's see here if I can illustrate this. Okay, so this gray area right here, hopefully you can see it on your screen. You see the letters are white right here and then the white line and all the letters are gray underneath. This represents volume value area. 70% or 70% of the volume took place, okay? If you can see right here, the 3 white ticks, three letter A's here, 3 ticks are white and the rest are gray. So this is the value area in the initial period. And this right here is the value where 70% of the volume took place. It's overlapping. Let me draw it. It's overlapping to higher versus this being the high right here and goes on down. Right? Overlapping to higher. So we had that. So once we came back out of yesterday's high and built volume, now we didn't immediately, it shot up, went through here very quickly. Then it started building a little volume, Then in B period, really started to build some volume, built volume up here, built volume up here. Then there was a sell-off. You had a reversal pattern here. And this is what I mean when I say reversal pattern. Right here. High, higher high, and a lower high than the prior 2 highs. Okay, so this was a move back down, right? Came all the way back down into yesterday's range. So this is kind of thing that gets you tripped up. So that makes you think, now we're going to roll back over to the downside and keep on going. Well, interestingly enough, let me throw this on here. I'm pretty sure, if I recall, I drew this. I think that might be a 786 retracement. Let me see here. Not quite, almost. Right here was almost 786. Just a moment. I counted it as such at the time, but then it came back up and then came back through here. So it's sort of that area. Sometimes it's exactamundo. It's very important to realize that this may be all we get. And notice how the volume thins out, right? So it's just a retracement, steep retracement. And boom, then we had a initiating move out of here in H period, an I period, J, K, it balanced a bit, L period, more initiative action, and then we had what's known as a late spike. So we had a late spike in the afternoon. Now it was very easy to think that we were rotating. Let me undo all the merges here. Or all the splits, I mean. It was very easy to think before M period happened that we were rotating. Right? We were going to rotate back down. In fact, let me split L off. Yeah. So when L was open, it was very easy to think that we were going to maybe rotate in here again, right? And I took a short and got stopped out. I thought we were gonna keep balancing and kind of come down. We're coming in the end of the day. I did wonder, and I started to see signs it was starting to pop a bit, and I ignored them, and I just I bit the dust on that one. But M period, I didn't take this. I missed it. But because at some point you kind of just get like I'm not sure if I'm trusting my instincts because I just had a loss and it's late in the day and I'm tired. Boy, what a move that was. This late spike action. Now we have a poor high coming into tomorrow. But I mentioned the gap from days back, so I wanted to get back to what I was referring to. Is right here. So again, one of the ideas on the let's see. Excuse me. Here it is. Continuation to the upside. Move to close gap from days back. And that's what we started to get. I didn't say we close the days back, because that's a long way. But we'd move towards it, and that's what happened. We closed above the 20 moving average. And I think in the video yesterday I was talking about what might happen when we come up here and touch the 20 moving average. Initially, that's what happened. Before that late spike, we had just touched it. And this is on the regular trading hours. So if you're looking at a 24-hour session, your moving averages are way different. So that happened. And again, I talk about painting the bars, like imagining where it might paint, And I thought it might paint up here, and it did exactly that. And then it was just more difficult for me to imagine, or at least trust my judgment, that we were going to come back through here and close up on the highs with the spike. I really wish I would have had the stamina and focus at that point in time to recognize that. It would have been a great thing to get on board with. One of these days, I'll be clicking on all cylinders all day long. For years, I'd sit and watch the markets and trade and all that all day, open to close, and then webinars and you name it in the evenings, and just intense. And I didn't get into trading for that. I didn't get into trading to be sitting in front of a screen like a maniac all day long, looking for every little move and every opportunity. So I don't do that because it's but it's gotten to where it's a lot easier for me and it's a lot more fun. And now it's like, well, I kind of need to be recharged in my life. I just so I just not feeling it. It's just a period right now where that's not for me. So I'm not going to beat myself up about it, even though that was a really great move. Okay, before I go too long here, let me think if there's anything else. Again, the idea was to continuation of yesterday's move up and look for overnight short covering action. We got that, a lot of popping, and so had somebody gone with that plan, right? let's just say, let's see, where would we say that happened? Okay. You know what? Let's just be conservative and say when we took out the overnight high. Okay. Took out the overnight high. Let's see what that would have looked like if somebody would have taken that on even a breakout. Or a retracement. I guess we should look at what it looks like. And where would you get out up here? Well, there's the R3. All right, let's just say the R3. Okay. Let's not even try to get this extra. Okay, we're just getting to the R3. Where are we going to put our risk? Okay, so it came up an M period, and I remember it was trucking a little bit. So let's say 3 wide. Let's say down here. I don't know if that's too far. Yeah, let's just say just below the C high. Okay. So risking. Well, let me do it this way. I don't like to put all. I like to have it like this. Let's just say show points, no ticks, no currency. 9.5 points, risking 3.75. At some point, you may not even have to risk that much, but you have all this low volume. You know, you could have actually hid right here where there's some volume here, a 3 wide, maybe a little less. You know, if it came above the overnight high and falls back in, yeah, you may want to look out. But that's 2.5 points. You know, it just depends what you think is gonna happen. I like right here, 3.75 up to R3. Could have even gone higher. Now I'd have to look left. There's obviously something here with this dotted line. I don't remember if it's single prints or if that's I think it might be single print somewhere. But if you would have been looking to go here, that's 13.75 points. Let's see if we can see what that is. Let's see, 4202. Right here. Oh, sure. That'd be easy to see. Like if you scrunched it up, you can see that you've got all these singles here. You're looking at some rapid movement through there generally, because look how thin it was, right? Typically, the market's going to move. It's either going to get jammed up on these thin, lower volume areas, or it's going to move through them quickly. Because I guarantee you this happened quickly. And sometimes it's been sitting there for days. And it rolls back up, it unfolds very quickly. You know, honestly, I probably would have been looking for more. I would have been looking to come up here if I would have looked at this. And probably would have I probably would have moved my stop up above the R3 and gotten taken out there anyway. So let's just keep it here. Keep it simple. What do we say? 9.5 points. Let's just say that. So I'm going to write 9.5 points in here, and that's being very conservative. We could have got in anticipating that a lot lower, or if you're trading multiple lots, well, that's a great 9. Multiple lots, you could have had a runner. You could have reloaded a couple times. I mean, you know, you name it. So let's see, 9. All right, I just keep this in a folder and look through it on the regular, because that would, my friends, 27. I said 9.5 points. I wrote down 9. Let's just say 9. 27 points. Another 9 points. So that's 4 9s. That's 36. Right, 36 points on one contract, just by doing the work of planning it out and trading your plan. And remember, the first time I attempted that to buy the value area, I got stopped out. One last thing I want to do is I want to look here in the 1 minute. I did draw in all these letters, so let's have a look here. Just looking, we'll see what happens here. So here's one thing I see. You have an inverted. Let me see if I can get a zigzag here. Just a moment, because I don't have the. Here we go. So you've got an inverted head and shoulders right here on some support. Okay, and that would mean. All right, let's just draw this right here. Okay, there's the neckline, and then what we want to see is, this is kind of a long video tonight, a measured move from here to here. So this would have been a possible way to get in and take it on up. You got some congestion over here. I probably would have gotten out, but there was, some more opportunity there. And then let me see if I can do a little rectangle. I want to show you another thing. I mean, sometimes a smaller time frame like this can show you a lot of things going on in the price action. So I would call this a trading range right here on the smaller time frame. And once you come down here, you're looking to go to the other side, which it did. Same with right here, it poked above. Now I draw these from the initial high to the first retracement. So yes, I would have had this on here and extended it. I do this often when I think about it. And see how it went down to the other side? Then it tried to go below, it came back in, and then the next thing is move the other side, came down, didn't get to the other side, so that's what did not happen. And then when it came up, I don't love a breakout. I don't think I would have liked to break out into this R2, even though it had already been traded through. Another thing is we got congestion back here. I wouldn't have liked it for a breakout. However, I would have liked it for a retracement, right? Now, see how it came right down to that high right there? I just changed my box here. And then boom, there's your move into the R3. So that would been a way to get into it. I'm actually surprised it went through this so easily, but again, that's another indication of short covering. It just kind of creamed right through it. All right, well, there's a lot of fun analyzing this and kind of rehashing it and working through it. And that is the market review with market profile for August 25th, 2022. Thank you very much, and I'll see you tomorrow.